Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
On Wall Street today, stocks closing mixed. The Dow down 24 points, the S&P up 4, the NASDAQ up 7. Volume on the big board. Relatively heavy trading, just under 4 billion shares for the month. The Dow up nearly 3%. The S&P up more than 3.5%, and the NASDAQ posting monthly gains of more than 6%. That's right, 6%. Amazon shares higher, and higher in a big way after a big earnings beat yesterday. Founder Jeff Bezos' net worth, by the way, doing pretty well. I would say pretty well. Above $66 billion, and passing Warren Buffett to become the third richest person in all the world. A reminder to listen to my reports 3 times a day, coast to coast on the Salem Radio Network. Joining me now, Forbes Media Chairman, Editor-in-Chief Steve Forbes. $66 billion, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Doesn't have to worry about Social Security anymore.
It's, well, just about everybody else does.
But what's amazing, though, is for years, he has dictated the terms in which you judge that company. For years, they went profits. He said everything's being reinvested to grow sales. Now they're reaping the profits. That's the key thing. A real leader says, this is what we're doing. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, and, and some did leave it there for just a spell. But he has executed from the very beginning. And I can remember meeting him for the first time and thinking, this is an extraordinary idea. But he didn't seem that excited. He just kept moving straight ahead. No big promises, just saying he's going to take over the world. and apparently, as good as his word. Let's talk also about 1.2% growth. Now, the rest of the world, at least in this country, not doing quite as well. 1.2%. And we're told this is the new normal. Really?
No. That's the new abnormal. And what's shocking about that report is the state of business investment. That's how you get prosperity for the future. It went negative. Consumer spending held up a little bit.
It hasn't been high.
But business investment is down. That's ominous for the future.
You know, it's ominous, and this president and this Treasury Secretary, this administration, hasn't had the capacity and leadership to say to the U.S. multinationals, look, you've got at least $2.5 trillion in overseas profits sitting in overseas banks and depository. You got to bring it home. You got to repatriate it. You've got to invest it here. And if we applied, and you are one of the ablest minds on this economy, if we took $2.5 trillion and repatriating that money, which is what Donald Trump is calling for, and invested it in this country, that would be a stimulus program. It would be the largest ever in this country's history. And it would create jobs.
Well, Donald Trump is not relying on persuasion. He's relying on reforming the tax code, where you have the incentive to bring that money back, put that money to work.
Yeah, but that bores everybody. The fact is, he's called for it. What happens?
It's like saying, win a baseball game. Oh, we need pitchers, we need batters, we need runners. Come on.
But the reality is this.
Nothing
happens in this economy or this government without the Congress and the President, when it's functioning correctly, we'll leave the Obama administration out of it, without concert. So what I'm asking you, $2.5 trillion, why isn't the entire Republican Party behind this idea and pushing it and driving it as the Trump public policy response here?
I think that's going to happen. I know Paul Ryan's in favor.
Paul Ryan, come on.
He's the speaker.
Paul Ryan, he is the speaker, but it's not his idea. It is, in point of fact, Donald Trump's idea. So let's get it straight.
It's been an idea, including my flat tax, of stopping this crazy territorial taxation.
By the time people divide up the credit, it is Trump's. It is his agenda.
Well, he's the leader.
Driving.
He's the leader.
Correct.
So run with it.
Absolutely.
And people get behind it. And
but why aren't they, is what I'm asking.
Well, I think they're going to have the opportunity in the next couple of weeks as Larry Kudlow and Steve Moore put the final finishes on Trump's package, and he gives his approval and makes his tweaks. You put that out there, and then he has something positive
to say. Tweaks or tweets?
Very good. Gotta be careful these days.
You better believe it.
But he'll do both, tweets and tweets. But the key thing is, if you have something positive put out there, a real thing that worked for Kennedy, worked for Reagan, worked back in the 20s, he's got something to say. This brings the money back, puts the money to work, and then I hope he also goes after health care. That's a ripe piece of fruit that's just laying there.
You know what I do hope is
patient control of health care. How about that?
You know what I really would like to see is some intelligent minds come together, create a commission, and really talk about it with both parties engaged. And for once in this country's history, recent history, think back to what has worked. For example, reach back to 1983, and some fellow by the name of Greenspan and the Greenspan Commission on Social Security. And what was worked out in an important way was the success of Social Security. We're not watching that happen. I think under Trump it might well. What do you think?
Well, 1986, reforming the tax code. They did throw out a lot of tax shelters, reduced the tax rate from 50 to 28%, two rates, passed the Senate 97 to 3. It can be done again.
But that wasn't a commission and it wasn't bilateral.
They negotiated.
They did negotiate.
It was the same thing. They got an agreement and ran with it.
All right. See, Forbes, it's always good arguing with you.
No, we're
in agreement.
We want lower tax rates.
Steve Forbes,
win-win.
Very quickly, the Euro bank stress test. The news was not entirely good.
Huge crisis. Question is, what are they going to do about these limping Italian
banks? A crisis in Italian banks.
Italian banks.
Not across the breadth of the 51 banks controlling 70% of the assets.
Well, they're going to have to, well, the question is, how are they going to deal with it? Are they going to put in capital? Are they going to create bad banks, take off the bad loans, which would probably be the best thing to do?
Which is what we've done in similar crises.
Yeah, but the bad bank's the best thing, because that way you don't throw in a lot of taxpayer money. You just sell the bad assets. But anyway, that's
doesn't sound like the European way to me.
No, why not rape the taxpayer? They are doing it all the time.
Steve Forbes, great to have you with us.
Good to be with you. Thanks.
Well, roll the video once again. An unsuspecting fisherman receives the shock. Whoa! I mean, that's amazing. 2 whales breaching almost directly next to his kayak. This is one reason I would never kayak. The two enormous, there are lots of other reasons. The enormous whales bursting out of the water. They nearly knocked him out of his boat. This all taking place on the coast of, just off the coast of California. Can we see that one more time? I'd love to see that just one more time. Can we do it? Yeah, I'd raise my hands and salute too. Here we go. Look at that. Ah, they're kissing. Up next, what's going on in Silicon Valley? First, Facebook accused of suppressing conservative news stories, and then Apple withheld support for the Republican National Convention, and Google now accused of an anti-Trump bias and caught red-handed. Tammy Bruce, Doug Schoen join us here next.